Triple double hat trick, I know the code too. Ice trade, go for trade, yeah we cold too. Getting paper on these player haters, old news. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold. My agent just said we made 100 flat. Make it back and make it stack, this like I'm Steven Jack. Put my rings up in the camera like I needed that. Up in the air and at the rim is where I meet them at.
So cool.
Triple double hat trick, I know the code too. Ice trade, go for trade, yeah we cold too. Getting paper on these player haters, old news. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another edition of I'm Not Gonna Hold You, man. It is Friday, January 23rd, 2026. As usual, I'm your host, Scott Lewis, aka Barb Chair Scott. You can follow me at Barb Chair Scott on all social media platforms. You can follow Barber's Chair Company, HB Media, all that good stuff. All those handles are in the description box. The Patreon, patreon.com/Barber's Chair Network. You can get all the exclusive content. You can click on that link in the description box or scan the QR code on the screen. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. That is also at Barber Chair Scott. That link is also in the description box. Or you can scan the YouTube, or you can scan the QR code on the screen as well, man. I've got a lot of individual content on there. A lot of exclusive content that I will be continue to update on, man. We're trying to get to 550 subscribers. I'm at 445 right now. So we want to, these are rookie numbers. We're trying to take it one by, step by step. So let's get that even higher, man. So appreciate everybody for tuning in, man. Today I got my co-host with me, the one and only JR Bang. You can follow him at JR Bang on all social media platforms. He is also a co-host of Some Dude Pod and also First Black Champ right here on the Barber's Chair Network. Bang, how you feeling on this extremely cold Friday afternoon?
Man, feeling good. Definitely trying to stay warm out here. But a lot of sports to talk about. Happy to talk about it. Been waiting about a week to go ahead and get my thoughts off, so I'm ready.
Yeah, we got a lot to talk about. Today will be the last time we talk about the 2025 Chicago Bears because we need to move on. I have been mourning for the past 5 days, so this is where the part of the show we move on and talk about other things. We will talk about that. We're going to talk about the AFC and NFC championship games that will be going on this Sunday. Yes, the NFL does move on even without our beloved Bears, so we'll be talking about that as well. Shout out to everybody watching on YouTube, Twitter, wherever you're watching right now. We appreciate all y'all, man. So before we get into the actual game and moving on, I gotta say, man, Packer fans, Packer players, ex-Packer players, they're not handling this so well. It hasn't even been 14 days yet. It'll be 14 days tomorrow since the Bears sent them packing, no pun intended. And we still see a lot of, I still see a lot of fans on social media. A lot of them are part in my TikTok comments as we speak. They just, going on and on and on because I dropped a YouTube reel from 79th and Hallis from a couple of days ago. Me and my brother recapping the season. We were talking about what are our favorite moments from the season, and obviously it was both times they beat the Packers. So, and a lot of them were upset about that. And Bears fans don't know how to handle success. You got a number one schedule next year. Let's see how that goes. I'm like, well, I don't know if you idiots in the NFC North know. We all play the same opponents. That's usually how it goes when you're in the same division. We play the same people, okay? Like there's probably like one or two different opponents that they play that we don't play, but we're all playing the same people for the most part. Okay, so if we got this tough number one schedule, so do y'all. And say we don't know how to deal with success and things like that. When did the Packers become this winning, just winning everything franchise? Have I been missing for the last 15 years? I don't think I have. We got the same amount of Super Bowls since Obama been out of office. Like, what are we talking about? You guys are 1-6 in your last 7 playoff games. One of those coming to the hands of the Chicago Bears. So obviously they're not dealing with this real. I saw Romeo Dobbs. He was on Kay Adams' show this week, and he was over there talking about. She asked him when did he know the rivalry was back on, and he said, "Oh, I don't know much about that. I'm just a young player, but." First of all, when they hit Jordan wrong, it was dirty play. They still on that shtick, and he didn't like how Bears fans were saying Green Bay sucks before the Rams game. It's like, brother, this is a rivalry. This is what it's always going to be. I know you're 12 and you don't remember anything about this rivalry, but they're going to sing that Bears still suck song, even though it's inaccurate, for the rest of their lives. That's just how rivalry is. And then we got people like what was Clay Matthews over here trying to take credit for the Bears season. It wasn't even a good troll in saying that one good season can't take away decades of dominance. In the words of the late great Antonio Soprano, remember when is the lowest form of human communication. Okay, so we don't want to be up here. I can sit up here as a Bulls fan and talk about, remember what Jordan did. They ain't got nothing to do with today. Okay. So that it just really feels like these guys are not taking this well, and it is bringing me a joy that I cannot describe. That y'all got another 9 months of this, and honestly, probably even longer than that. I do think it's a situation where let's just say next year we probably split again. We still beat you in the playoffs. It took us 15 years to get some get back from the 2010 NFC Championship game. And I just love how it burns their souls. And I saw one Packer beat reporter, and he actually had a good point. He said the quicker Packer fans accept that Caleb Williams is a good quarterback and we want to deal with him for the next day, the better we can be equipped to try to take him down. And then our Packer fans killed him. He retweeted it. My point still remains. What have you been feeling about just this? Are you shocked that they're going out this sad?
No, I'm not. Let me first say, I don't mind the Clay Matthews joint. And I don't mind the Clay Matthews joint because of what he said at the draft last year. Like he had the little joint up, said that Bears still suck and all of that. So I don't mind him. And it wasn't sour grapes. It was comedy. It was funny. He was on Bussin' with the Boys, and he was just busting chops. That I don't mind. What I don't mind is everybody else whose panties are still in the bunch. Clay's, his wasn't in the bunch. He ain't playing no more. So at the end of the day, he know what he did when he was there. And I think if anything, he going to be laughing at these other folks, but still being like, hey, man, we got to get it together. But Romeo Dobbs talking about, man, I ain't know about this rivalry and all of that stuff. Like, come on, bro. Nah, fam. That just shows me the lack of respect that the Green Bay Packers had for the Chicago Bears. That's all that shows me. And for the fans, I expect it. I have people that are homies of mine who are Chicago Packers fans, and they're still hurt, and they're going to be hurt longer. And here's why. Here's my thought around Chicago Packers fans. Scott, why did Chicago people, most notably African Americans on the south and west sides of Chicago, not talking about white people, not even talking about white people from the north suburbs and Lake County and all of that. Tell me your opinion. Why do you think black people from the south and west sides and east side too became Packers fans?
Because they bitches. I don't have no other reason besides that. It just don't make no sense to me. This is my thing about the Bears Packer fan thing.
So I'm gonna explain why.
This is my thing about it. I understand not wanting to root for the Bears. That I get.
No,
that I 1,000,000. Look, as a guy who is abstaining from the Chicago Bulls and the Chicago White Sox for 3 seasons running. In fact, I will not be watching on Saturday. I will be watching Derrick Rose's jersey retirement that comes on after the game. I will not be watching that foolishness for 48 minutes. I understand not rooting for that. Rooting for the Packers, you're gonna have to tell me because I don't know.
I'm gonna explain why.
That's like me saying I don't like the I don't mess with the White Sox no more. Let me go root for the Cubs. Or I don't like Ohio State no more. Let me go root for Michigan.
No. See, the reason why is because when the Bears are not seeing success, but the Green Bay Packers are, or another team, it's easy for you to jump ship and rock with that team. See, here's the thing here. If you do that, that's fine. But what happens when that team there is now on the trajectory going down and the Bears are going up? See, it was easy to become a Packers fan when they got Aaron Rodgers and before him Brett Favre, because you have, at those times, the best quarterback in the league. Even though between them they won 1 Super Bowl and they've been to 3, they're beating on the Bears. So it's like, let me go root for the team that's constantly rooting for the Bears. But here's the thing. And Packers fans have acknowledged that with their actions. Packers players have acknowledged that with their mouths. And now you even hear the league acknowledging this, because I've heard Bears in Super Bowl in the next 3 to 5 years more than I've ever heard in my life. The NFL and the press have acknowledged that the Bears have a quarterback. They've acknowledged that the Bears has a potential MVP at quarterback. They've acknowledged that they have a great offensive line. They got 2 good running backs, and they're good at the skill positions. Scott, when have you heard, even in the good years, somebody say that the Bears are good at quarterback, offensive line, and skill positions?
Never. Never. I mean, it's to the fact that I have to keep reminding myself that the Rams won on Sunday. Because if I was one of the 5 Rams fans in the Los Angeles area, and as somebody who lived there, this is not a joke. The Rams are like the 4th most important NFL team in LA. Okay, so
right.
I will forget they won. It has been nothing but NFL films on the Caleb thing. Like, the Bears have gotten so much pub this week that it shows you just how good it is for the league. And the league saying, oh, this is the highest rated NBC playoff game ever. And the Los Angeles market wasn't even in the top 10. So what does that tell you?
So this is not me putting the cart before the horse, because we could be like when Green Bay gave Jordan Love all that money, or we could be like the Washington Commanders, who every Washington Commander player I have seen and fan is hurt right now because they thought they had the right one. They don't know. I just saw Fred Smoot in a video just basically downing everything Bears, and they had to tell him, no, fam, they good over there. Literally all they need is a pass rush, and they're good.
When you're done with this, I'm gonna give my take on the Commanders. I see a lot of people making that comparison. I got to counter for that.
I hear that comparison in every text that I get. That no, what I'm saying is that we're in a position that we've never been in. While our teams have been good since 1985, ladies and gentlemen, the Bears ain't sucked since 1985. We just ain't go to a Super Bowl since 1985. But we've never been in this position.
We ain't won a Super Bowl since 85.
Well, we ain't won a Super Bowl. We've been to a Super Bowl.
We've been to one.
We've been to numerous NFC championship games. We've won numerous NFC North and Central titles. But when you have Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers, I get it. But the Bears have not been good at skill positions. We're good. At the same time as running back, we're good. At the same time as offensive line, we're good. At the same time that you have people saying going into next season, Caleb Williams quite possibly is the best quarterback in the conference, a MVP candidate, and the Bears could win the Super Bowl in the next 5 years. All they need is a pass rush. Green Bay fans who are now from Chicago have never heard that. And now Now they hear it. Now they got to make a decision. Do I stay with the Green Bay Packers? Or do I go, hey, man, you know, it's all love, man. We all Chicago, fam. Like, hey, man, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely
No,
not. You
stay
made
your
that
ass
decision.
over there.
You made that decision.
When Jordan Love is stinking up the place, you made that decision. When them wide receivers can't catch a ball and stay healthy, you made that decision. When your offensive line can't stay healthy, you made that decision. When your defensive coordinator go slide his ass over to the Miami Dolphins, you made that decision. You made that decision when you kept Matt LaFleur. You made that decision. The chickens are officially going to come home to roost because your ass decided to go out of all teams, the Green Bay Packers, the rival, and now people are putting the Bears on a trajectory past them. And now you're going to have to figure it out. You ain't have to figure it out during the time where the rivalry was one-sided. Now you're going to be in a situation where the rivalry is not one-sided. It's even right now. But in the last couple of games, who have come out on top? The Chicago Bears. All I'm saying is, and I'm only talking to Chicago Packers fans, it's a little bit different when the team that you grew up liking until Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers got there is actually good. And the quarterback that they got over there is not only not as good as Brett Favre or Aaron Rodgers, he ain't even got the swag or the confidence that Caleb Williams got. The Chicago Bears is not only a good team, they are now officially a cool team to root for. Which means that the Green Bay Packers is not cool to root for. It is a wrap for y'all. Come back.
And not only, they stay over there. You made your decision. You made your decision. In the words of my manager for my other football team and the other sport, it's too late. It's too late. You made your decision. Stay over there. Okay, like this is my thing, man. And then we'll move on because I don't want to spend too much time with this. This is my thing. Like, yes, it's equal right now, but I want to throw a caveat out there. It cannot be equal soon. If Caleb Williams reaches the potential that I think everybody, even his most staunch haters, like we've seen Colin Cowherd change his mind on Caleb every week for the first 8-10 weeks of the season. Now he's on it. You know what I'm saying? You got Chris Canty, who we have talked about on this show on more than one occasion. He said, without a shadow of a doubt, this guy should be up there with the elite of the elite. If he works on the easy stuff, which is what you always want your quarterback to have to get better at, the easy stuff than the hard. The stuff he's great at, you can't teach. If he gets the easy stuff down and this team gets an actual defense, it might not be even anymore. The tide might turn. Because this upcoming season for the Packers is very interesting to me because now Matt LaFleur has job security. Now Matt LaFleur ain't hitched to this quarterback anymore. If Jordan Love ain't cutting it, there's going to be some decisions made. So that's why I think it's uncomfortable. If Packer fans really weren't as bothered about the Bears as they claim they're not, they wouldn't be having this reaction that they've been having. It's affecting their body chemistry that it's not the same anymore. And the reason I love it is because I don't even know what the NFL schedule is going to be next year as far as the dates. But I can almost guarantee you that the first Sunday night football game of the season is going to be in Lambeau Field and it's going to be Bears practice.
Yeah.
I can almost guarantee you that. And here's my question to you, Packers. What are you going to do if we win that one too? What are you going to do? If Caleb puts a little bit more air on that ball, we might go 3-0 this year. So that's the thing I think worries me. I will say this about the Commander thing. The reason I'm not too keen on the Commanders comparison, yes, the NFL is a year-to-year league, and I'm super happy that Ben and Caleb echoed that immediately after the game on Sunday, that we cannot build on this. This is a new year. I think even Stevie Wonder could have saw this slide from the Commanders. They had the oldest roster in the NFL. They had an old running back, old defense. Bobby Wagner and Von Miller would have scared me in 2014. In 2026, what are we doing? Scary Terry is your best wide receiver. Okay, I like Scary Terry. I don't really think he's one of these overwhelming number ones. Deebo Samuel is washed. And as much as I like Jaden is a really good quarterback when healthy. But you even saw when he was playing before he got hurt, defenses was picking up on the tendencies he was so good at last year. Everybody said, "Oh well, yeah, y'all, you barely beat the Commanders by field goal." You do know Jalen. I mean, not Jalen, but Jaden is the reason the Bears won that game because he fumbled the football. That was after throwing an interception to a safety who never gets interceptions in Jaquan Brisker. That's why I don't like.
And we was also getting in the groove of learning
the groove of learning the offense. That's why also it's like, and you're also in the NFC East. Okay. So Philly's in there. I personally love the John Harbaugh hiring for the Giants. We'll get into that later in the show. I think it's going to be a tougher division. So I do believe in the NFL, if you got a quarterback and a head coach, you're in a better standing. I believe that Commanders have that quarterback. I just don't know if that quarterback can stay healthy. And I'm just not that big of a Dan Quinn guy. But that's all we got to say about that. And they ain't got no offensive coordinator. And they ain't got no offensive coordinator yet. Yeah. Cliff Kingsbury's gone. So, Bang, I want to hear your thoughts on the end of the season. If anybody watches this show, I'm pretty sure you watch my other content. You watch 79th and Howlers. You watch the stuff I got on my YouTube channel. I think you pretty much know where I stand on Sunday's game and just this season as a whole. So, Bang, I want to know how you felt about Sunday's game, why you were watching it, different atmosphere you were at home watching this time compared to the Packer game, and how you feel about this season as a whole as it came to an end.
Oh, okay. So start off at the game. That was the first Bears game I've watched ever as a grown man and not been upset. Like, especially with getting some of the information that you were feeding to me about some of the things towards the end. I wasn't even mad, man, because they had 7 comeback victories. It's hard to do 8, 9. It's hard to do 7. But the fight that they gave, and I'm officially calling Caleb Williams that last play. Well, not the last play, but the pass to Cole Kmet. I'm officially calling that Tecmo Bowl because I've only seen a play like that playing Tecmo Bowl to where you just running and throw and you. That's the only time I've ever seen that play. But the Bears played who many people consider the best team in the NFC. And they held up. Great game by the defense. Could have had a little bit more from the red zone from the offense, but I wasn't mad at that game. I did not throw anything and mad. My son was crying, but my son was crying mainly because he's young and he don't want to see the Bears lose. So I felt good after that game. As far as the season go, man, this was a season that I was hoping happened a year ago, but I'm glad it happened a year later because now I feel like we have the coach for the future. Caleb is in the right position. I think that the offensive line has not only has the offensive line grown over the year. You look at Ozzie Trapillo, who we drafted in the second round. We didn't really see in the preseason. We was wondering if it was a bust. And he's now your left tackle for the future. Even look at Jordan McFadden. Ain't played for 2 years. And Tooney gets moved over to left tackle. And in the Rams game, with the vaunted defensive line that they have, you did not hear 74 name or number. The offensive line is now one of the strengths of this team. Skill position. We got a lot of questions around the DJ Moore thing, and I know we're probably going to talk about that a little bit later. But the fact that Ben Johnson particularly called out the pass catchers, it's like, y'all got to get it together. I really expect a better year from Rome Odunze next year. And I ain't even mad at it because sometimes wide receivers in their second year, that sophomore slump tend to happen. That third year is watch out. I expect to see a monster year from Rome Odunze. And Colston Loveland broke a playoff record. He came on towards the end. He's definitely a mainstay. And even looking at him and Cole Kmet being a Rob Gronkowski and a buddy ass, you know what I'm saying? I like that. Running back, Cal Monangai, 7th round pick. Look like we good there. Will DeAndre Swift come back? We'll see. Everything that we're wondering about is the defense. But I think it was Olin Cruz who has said something that we've not heard in a while. hey, people gonna want to come to Chicago. People are gonna want to come to play with Caleb. But offensively, we ain't gonna need that. Defensively, if I am a Trey Hendrickson, if I am a Max Crosby, if I'm them two, I'm looking and I'm like, hey man, this team might give me the best chance to win a championship. I want to go there. If I am a linebacker that's a free agent, yo, I think I want to go there. And I don't want to specifically call it an embarrassment of riches. Not gonna go that far. But the questions that we have at defensive back, we have an overload of talent on that side of the ball in that position to where we have good conversations to have. Jaquan Brisker, do we bring him back? Somebody gonna offer him a boatload of money more than the Bears are gonna do. I know that's gonna, especially with that game he had. If that's his last game as a Bear, fam, thank you for the memories, because that's what we've been waiting on. And we hope you do well. But the Bears are not going to overpay for him. They could bring Kevin Byard on a good contract. You got Tyreek Stevenson. We got to figure it out. But we even got, Jalen Johnson, he's going to be healthy. But you even got somebody that they believe in, like Zach Frazier, who didn't even play a game, that's going to come back. You got CJ that might be able to come back on the lower deal. So with them, and also with the money that they can recoup for the salary cap with restructuring contracts on a number of people. And if they do decide to trade DJ Moore, his contract won't hurt the salary cap. So they actually have a lot of positives that teams that end up in this position to where they go that worst to first, and they got to figure it out. Nah, man, we can grow that cap upwards to where we can now go get a Trey Hendrickson who played under Dennis Allen. Or we could go get a Max Crosby who's seen the love Caleb Williams, and we can improve through the draft as well, depending on who we get. So I like where this team stands, and I also like the way that Ryan Poles and Ben Johnson posed where we are at right now. We're back to square one. We're not resting on our laurels. I think we're going to have an even hungrier team because now we believe we can do it.
Yeah, I've been on record saying this was the most fun season for me watching the Bears, definitely covering it, just like by far. I wasn't okay after they lost on Sunday, and it wasn't because of the actual loss. Like, I was upset because when Cole Kmet caught that touchdown, I legitimately not only thought we were going to win that game, I thought we were winning the Super Bowl. It just felt like one of those moments, like for real. The way the stadium was shaking, it just like, bro, we keep doing this. We keep doing this. Everybody in the press box looking around each other like, how many weeks has this happened now? I just started to feel like, oh, this is just fate. This is going to happen. Even to the point with the field goal, I was for sure that the Rams were going to miss it. I was like, because that's just how our season has been. And so when it didn't happen, I think it was more of a shock to everybody in the press box and all the fans in the stadium. It was just silent, bro. And I know
what it reminded me of real quick, Scott?
What?
Major League.
Yes.
The first one.
Yes,
we did all of that, and then we lost. Everybody celebrating, but they all looking like, yo, hey, we gonna be all right. That's what it reminded me of.
Yeah, that hit later, but it was just like, it was quiet, and it was so quiet that you could hear the Rams players celebrating from as high as we were at. Like, that's how quiet it was in the stadium. But I definitely feel like, I think more than anything, I was telling my brother for like 2 days, I was trying to reconcile with, man, I'm not finna be, like, my whole schedule changes now. Like, I looked at my calendar last night. It just hit me last night. So I'm looking at my calendar. Yes, I'm old school. I have a big calendar in my office with like an actual calendar, kids, like actual calendar where I write stuff on there. I know we do everything digital now. And I was like, oh shit, I got free weekend. I got nothing to do on Sunday. That's when it hit me. Because I did that look. I was like, all right, what's somebody got to be at the stadium? I was like, oh, we're not playing. So I think it's having to, get back. Because I've been covering this team for a year straight, like since the Ben Johnson era. You know, I was at Ben Johnson's introductory press conference. I was at the free agency conferences where all the new players was introduced into, mini camp, So it just was such a sudden ending and such a fun season. So that's what I reconcile with. And also was going around telling people, the NFL doesn't work like in a linear type of way, like how the NBA works or how like Major League Baseball works. Where you're like, okay, there's pillars. You do this. Okay, you won this playoff games. That means you're going to make it to the East Conference Finals next year. Or you're going to make it to the National League Championship Series next year. That don't work like that in the NFL. NFL is literally a year-to-year league, and you never know what's going to happen. Now, that doesn't mean the progress you made ain't great, but I was so happy to hear from the first press conference after the game that both Caleb and Ben were on the same page, which leads me to the press conference on Wednesday. Now, I just want to say, anybody who doesn't think I'm not loyal to the soil or getting you guys the best content, I went through a lot on Wednesday to get to that damn press conference. Okay, like I had to Uber to my brother's job, which is an hour away from me, get his car, take his car to Hallis Hall, which is an hour away from his job, get to Hallis Hall. And when I got to Hallis Hall, like Hallis Hall opened at 9:30. I got there at 9:38. And when I tell you there wasn't a seat in there that I could sit at, that's how many people was there. And that's why if you look at my reel, I'm a little more zoned out. I zoomed in as far as I could with my phone. And I was there for 45 minutes. That's how long the press conference was, about 45 minutes. And then I had to Uber all the way back to the crib in the city, stay there for a couple hours, do some more content that I had to do to, kind of recap the event. Then I had to go pick my brother up. He had to drop me back. It was a full thing just to get 45 minutes content. So I'm doing this for you guys. Just want to let you know that. But first of all, at the press conference, I got to give a shout out to the Bears because they fed us. Okay. Now, this is a big deal because they never feed us when it's not training camp. All right. When it's training camp, they give us like the little CPS bag lunches where you only got like 3 choices. You got your veggie sandwich or like your turkey sandwich or like one of those chicken wraps, buffalo chicken wrap. We had Chick-fil-A breakfast, catered Chick-fil-A breakfast. So shout out to the Bears. But Ryan Poles and Ben Johnson, it is very clear. Remember a year ago when Ben first got hired, everybody was wondering how's him and Ryan going to link up? Is it going to work? Is Ryan kind of a lame duck GM with this new? They are on one accord. That was the number one thing I got from it. They are in one headspace. And I also got from it is this. Yes, he is the general manager, but Ben Johnson is the top dog in 1920 football drive. He controls the traffic. He is the big bro. Okay, nothing. The color of the Bears water bottles in there for the media room is not accepted without Ben Johnson's permission. And he's just so intense. He kept referring to last year like it wasn't 3 days ago. He said, last year. I'm like, no, brother, that was 72 hours ago. And he's just so locked in. And I think the message I got from him is that from both of them was what we did was this year was cool, but it wasn't good enough. And Ryan Poles and Ben was both like, we can't rely on the fine margins that we relied on this year. He said, yeah, having a 1-score games was cool, but that's not going to fly next year. So we need to get better. We need to get better at catching the football. And the DJ Moore thing was interesting to me because I do believe DJ will be back next year. Because as Brad Biggs said in his column and as Brad Biggs said on Mully and Hall, it's going to be too expensive to cut him and it's going to be too expensive to trade him. I do believe a restructuring is probably going to happen or is going to have to happen. But I do believe he stays there. But I do Ben gave a glowing reception about him. And I'm going to even text me like, oh, what that means DJ saying. I was like, you didn't hear what Ryan Poles said. There was a line that Ryan Poles said that had my spidey senses tingling. When he said, as far as the roster is concerned, we will make those decisions later. In the same answer that he was asking about DJ. I think he respects DJ. He loves DJ. He thinks that DJ has a great place in this team. But if the right deal comes along, I can see him going. And so
yeah.
I really just, I feel like if it's the right deal, he's gonna be going. I just really feel the Bears know what the issues are. The Bears know what players are gonna be back, what players aren't gonna be back. That's why I'm betting money that Kevin Byard is back, because Brian Poles singled him out and said, "Oh, he's a special guy, and we would love to have him back." And Kevin Byard even said himself that the interest was mutual. But yeah, I think there's gonna be a lot of changes. Brad Biggs said today that his guess is that Tremaine Edmonds will be gone, Jaquan Briscoe will be gone, Cole Kmet safe, DJ should be safe, and then he thinks that they could go out there and maybe even try to see if there's a replacement for DeAndre Swift if they had to. So that's what I thought. I thought it was a real, compared to other year-end press conferences, it was like a united front. They weren't taking any questions on the stadium, even though TED Talk Kevo was right there on the side.
You could tell he wanted to do his own year-end press conference.
I swore he was gonna talk. Like when Ryan got done, I didn't even get up from my chair. I was like, because I brought a chair in because there wasn't any more seats. I rolled my chair from my desk in, and I was waiting. He just got up. It was him with George and one of the other McCaskies. Like I said, 80 McCaskies. So I don't know which one this was, but it was just a united front. And Ben was intense, and it really felt like Ben doesn't want to take a break. He said, we're going to get away from football. He looked like he's just like, man, I want to get started tomorrow. So for me,
you want me to make a prediction on Ben?
Go ahead.
Ben gonna burn himself out after year 7.
I could see it.
He gonna burn himself after year 7 because
he either gonna burn himself out or he's gonna be a more calm coach.
Because I agree with you. He looks like somebody that's like, all right, season over. All right, tomorrow we're going back to work. Like,
he looked like his wife is gonna have to make him go on vacation.
Right.
And they're gonna be out there, the kids, and she's gonna be so happy to have her husband back. And this nigga is still thinking about this motherfucking DJ would have kept running. Like I know a sicko when I see one, okay?
Hey,
and somebody
Baby Gruden. I told you he was Baby Gruden when we were like, oh, I think we got him.
Yeah, you did. You called it early. And here's something I knew he was nuts. Somebody's phone went off. I don't know if you can hear it on the stream. Somebody's phone went off. This nigga lasered. Like it was like lasers piercing into the reporter that the entire media room looked back.
Ooh.
And he like gave him like a death stare. I ain't never seen a grown man turn his phone off so quick in my life. And it was just like zoomed in. And it's like as somebody who I consider myself a perfectionist and I hate it, I know he's gonna be on that vacation. And his mind's gonna be into this week 15 of next season. And I think that's gonna be good. But like you say, he's gonna have to change his approach if he's gonna be a long time, decade plus type of coach. But I thought it was, to wrap it up, I thought it was a united front, and I really liked the message that they send out to the players and to the team and to the fans. Now it's up to them to see if they do it.
Yeah, I ain't gonna keep it long. Because when you're successful, you just happy to not have one of those press conferences where somebody's getting fired, and you're not talking about mock drafts and all of those things. So and you ain't got nobody trying to be all in the videos, like TED Talk Kevo. It's very interesting what his coaching staff was gonna happen. You got Declan Doyle, who got asked for permission to interview for the Philadelphia Eagles job. I don't think he's gonna get that job, but considering that it seems like nobody wants that job, then maybe, right? Al Harris is interviewed for about 3
I wonder why they don't want that job. Could it be a specific Instagram caption having quarterback that Eagles fans still don't want to accept that he's not like that?
Hey, you got Eric Bieniemy, who, as expected, was going to be back with the Chiefs in some capacity. I think a lot of people expected Matt Nagy to get that Tennessee Titans job, and he was like, "Oh, you ain't getting that job." Well, what
he got fired on it? He got fired on his day off. On his day off. Shout out to Courtney Cronin. She had a Friday reference when she was on ESPN the other day, and I don't think the co-host got it, but
I realized Courtney is more part of the culture than we realize. Courtney
Like
is
there was
very.
one time there was one press conference during Justin Fields last year, and somebody, and I think that I don't know if it was, I know who asked the question. I'm not gonna out him. Somebody asked the question, was like, do you think of DJ or something? And he was like, pause. And so when it's over, and she was like, well, at least he didn't say no homo. I was like,
Yeah.
you know, okay.
I was watching Unsportsmanlike, and Evan was like, "Yo, Courtney's more in the hardcore rap than she is in the pop," and she was like, "In country." She was like, "Well, yeah." I was like, "She's part of the culture."
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, I just think that will there be change, some turnover on the coaching staff? Yeah, I don't think it's going to be as deep as people say. If Declan Doyle does go to the Philadelphia Eagles, you got JT Barrett right there that I think is prepared to take over that offensive
And
coordinator
JT has been
position.
a big influence for Caleb. Caleb brings up
Ex-
JT all the time.
exactly. So I'm not as worried on the offensive side or the defensive side as many others will be. I'm just happy that it was a smooth press conference. I was just happy that it was an end of year press conference that recognized the year that we had, but was like, all right, but now the season is over. So now we got to prepare. We got the combine that's in almost 30 days. We got the draft right after that. We got free agency. We got a lot of things to show up on. And it was a lot of challenging as well.
Yeah.
One thing that I will say is whether it is a good or bad press conference, I don't necessarily see a lot of challenging. And to see him look specifically at the wide receivers and say, y'all got a lot to work on this year,
Yeah.
that makes me believe that the challenge is on, and why I'm actually very excited about what's to come with that particular skill position.
Yeah, I'm gonna make one bold prediction as we wrap this Bears part up. I believe that Ryan Poles is going big fish hunting. Nobody has told. I have to always say this since I'm a man of the media. I always have to say that nobody told me this. Okay, I have no sources on this. This is my opinion. I have a feeling Ryan Poles is going big fish hunting. I think the more fiscal, responsible way would be sign Trey Hendrickson, trade for Chris Jones on a low. That is ethical defensive line building that personally I'm fine with. If that's what happened, I'm cool. Something tells me that when the smoke clears in about 2.5 months, Max Crosby or Myles Garrett will be wearing orange and navy. I don't know why I've got that feeling. That's just a feeling I've got. We've always said that Ryan Poles don't make the super big move because he's cautious. I think that's because he had to be because of the situation the team is in. I think they know that they're very close. I feel like this defensive line that you have right now is a defensive line of a lot of player 2 type players. That if you get a guy on that line, it instantly takes him over. So that's my personal.
What I would add to that is I believe you because you're about a year away from having to have a
To pay Caleb.
conversation about paying Caleb. So if you're gonna
Yep.
do it, you have to do it next year.
Yep. Exactly. So that is all we got to say. Any last final thoughts on 2025 Chicago Bears?
The best season that I have watched from the Chicago Bears fan from an excitement perspective.
Yeah.
We're not gonna get this. We're not gonna get a season like this again. But
I'm gonna go even further. You're not gonna have fun like this again. And the reason I say that is this: expectations now. I told everybody who I've talked to this week, the minute they sweep the confetti off of the Levi Stadium field in about 2.5 weeks, it is Super Bowl or bust for me. However, y'all want a fan, if y'all like, oh, they just got to make the NFC Championship game. No, y'all are 15 yards away from an NFC Championship game this year. So for me, it's further. Super Bowl or bust.
I would go even further. If the Los Angeles Rams win the Super Bowl, it is Super Bowl or bust because you should have beat them.
I mean, even if they don't, it's Super Bowl bust for me because I think Matthew Stafford retired regardless. And then that's another threat that's out the NFC. So that's how I look at it, man. But anyway, let's move around. We got some other NFL stuff to get into. Yes, the NFL does move on even without our beloved Chicago Bears. There's been a big coaching carousel going on in the league, man. A lot of coaches have been fired. A lot of coaches have been hired. Just want to catch everybody up to speed on some things. So Detroit Lions, of course, we all know they fired their offensive coordinator who couldn't cut it after Ben Johnson moved on. They have hired Drew Petzing from the Cardinals as an offensive coordinator. Now, my personal opinion on this, I don't really know how much it's going to change because I don't know if y'all watched the Arizona Cardinals last couple of years. It doesn't look that good. And I see a lot of Detroit Lions fans trying to talk themselves into it. Since I have family in Detroit, a lot of their radio, like it shows my algorithm. Like I'll get 97.1 the ticket. Their hosts are pretty hilarious. I like watching that shit. They have me down laughing. And like I think one of the hosts like, I know Lions fans don't want to hear it. Caleb Williams is gonna be something we have to deal with, and everybody was cussing them out. But they were trying to make sense of that hiring. Kansas City Chiefs are taking the Bears running back coach Eric Bieniemy. He will be returning as the offensive coordinator. I'm pretty sure that was a Pat Mahomes call. Matt Nagy got fired on his day off. So
wait a minute. The only thing I'll say to this about Pat and Eric Bieniemy is his last year, y'all was complaining about how tough he was. Yeah, now y'all like, hey man, hey, you know
we need that back. They got tired of Matt Nagy talking about, guys, we got to see what the whys are. They got tired of that shit. That's what they got tired of. Los Angeles Chargers are expected to hire former Dolphins coach Mike McDaniel as their offensive coordinator. That is an interesting signing to me because I feel like Jim Harbaugh and Mike McDaniels is an interesting pair. As I got to see Mike McDaniel up close and personal during training camp this year, looking like a coke dealer in 80-degree weather. And we all know that Jim Harbaugh looks like a psychopath. Like him and his brother, like John Harbaugh look like he got people skills. And Jim look like he a robot.
Jim nervous.
Yeah, Jim like if he can't talk about football, he ain't got nothing to talk about. Well, John Harbaugh
wait
is like he's a people person.
But wait a minute. Mike McDaniel also interviewed for the Buffalo Bills position as well.
Did. He did. He interviewed for Detroit too, and he was like, you know what? No. He interviewed for the Bills head coaching position. So
what
today?
Yeah.
Oh, he interviewed today?
Yeah, he interviewed.
So it's not official yet that he's in LA.
Well, if similar to
Brian Flores.
Got you. He signed the deal, but it's contingent on if he does not get a head coaching job. The Buffalo Bills plan on interviewing him. I think it happened today, but they also interviewed today Phillip Rivers for the
I'm about to get to that now. If I'm the Buffalo Bills, I don't let Mike McDaniel leave the facility. Okay. That to me is exactly, I don't think Mike McDaniel wasn't a problem. It was the wrong Uso who was a problem for the Miami Dolphins. It was not Mike McDaniel, okay? It was the Usos' cousin who they can't claim, okay? He's not allowed to come to the family dinner. Yeah, that's him. Buffalo Bills interviewed Phillip Rivers today. Now, I know Phillip Rivers got a little bit of high school coaching, but in the words of Stephen A. Smith, this is white privilege. That's exactly what that is. I have no other comments.
Did you see First Take today?
No.
Oh, hey. I know you don't be watching First Take like that. I have it as white noise, so I don't necessarily watch it heavy like that. But Cam Newton talking about Phillip Rivers getting the interview today was high quality sports television. That man's I forgot who asked him, because Ryan Clark is on the side of he's cool with the interview and if he gets it. They looked at him like, boy, you must be crazy. And if he getting the interview, I need to go ahead and get an interview. Yeah. If he's getting an interview, let's go ahead and get it. It's like, I would want to coach Joshua right now if I had the chance as well. So, no, hey, give me one if we doing this.
Would not shock me if he got the job. Because I don't know if you saw that Bills press conference the other day. They don't know what they're doing.
They don't know what they're doing.
They don't know what they're doing over there in Buffalo. So that's interesting. Tennessee hired former Niners defensive coordinator Robert Saleh. He signed a 5-year contract, but everybody with eyes know that he will not be head coach of that team in 2029. I can just pretty much guarantee that. Miami Dolphins hired the Packers defensive coordinator Jeff Hafley as head coach. The guy who said that, I appreciate you guys. I'll be right back here tomorrow because we are not done. Narrator voice. They were done. He is the new head coach of the Miami Dolphins. he's gonna really appreciate Jordan Love when he sees Tua throw a football. That's all I'm gonna say about that. He's gonna really appreciate Jordan Love. The Baltimore Ravens have hired Jesse Minter. He was the Chargers defensive coordinator last year. Now he used to be one of the DB coaches with Baltimore, so he's not new to Baltimore. He will be replacing John Harbaugh. Now I follow a decent amount of Ravens fans. Shout out to the homie Rita. Shout out to the Gridiron Gals, all the friends of the program. So I get all my Ravens news from her page. So it sounds like Ravens fans are pretty cool with the signing. And also our boy Tosin. Our boy Tosin is a diehard Ravens fan. He said he's glad that he has a sicko. I have one caveat for that. I would not bring a defensive coach for my offensive franchise quarterback, who the problems were obviously, granted, the defense was bad last year, but you're the Baltimore Ravens. It's like the Chicago Bears. You're just not supposed to have bad defenses. And when you fix them, you pretty much fix them quickly. I would have got an offensive mind for Lamar Jackson, but what do I know? Maybe it'll work out. And then finally, in my opinion, the signing of the period. I absolutely love this one. I tweeted this immediately after John Harbaugh got fired. I tweeted, John Harbaugh, get ready to speak gabagool in New Jersey as you will be head coach of the New York Football Giants. Correction. And I was right. I wasn't wrong, just early. 2 weeks later. First of all, out of all these hires, there's a couple that I like. I like John Harbaugh as the Giants because they need culture there. They have lacked culture with the New York Giants since my man Tom Coughlin left the building. It has been a long time. We have seen all these different coaches that just not worked. I'm not the biggest Jackson Dart fan, but I do believe there's any coach that can get the most out of him, it is John Harbaugh. And I think that he is he gives off an East Coast guy vibe. We can say whatever we want to say about his last couple of years with the Ravens. I think he overspent his time by about 5 seasons. I still think he's a really good coach. And I think for where the Giants are going, trying to rebuild that culture with these young players, I'm not saying they're going to make the playoffs next year, but I do believe this is going to be a much better team with the guy who has won the Super Bowl before, who has made deep playoff runs before. And I think that's the best hire for them. If the Buffalo Bills get Mike McDaniel, I think that'd be really, really good. We'll see if they do. I just got a feeling they're going to hire Phil Rivers. I don't know why. I just feel like when you do a goofy interview like that, they're going to do some goofy shit like that. But if the Dolphins can get rid of Tua, I like Jeff Hafley there. And more importantly, I'm just happy that he's out of the division. And I would love for Brian Flores to be out of the division. But unfortunately, nobody likes that Negro. So I expect him to be right back in Minneapolis next year. What's your thoughts on the coaching carousel? Anything to stand out to you?
I think the best fit is John Harbaugh and the Giants. I think there's no better fit for the organization. Now for the team, we will see, because remember he's a leader of men type of coach. If you want to segment it, he's a leader of men type of coach.
I remember we were hearing that last year. Is Ben Johnson leader of men? Yeah, indeed he was.
Yeah, right. So it's going to be very interesting, his choices for offensive defensive coordinator. But organizationally, I think there was no better fit. Surprisingly, I like the Kevin Stefanski hire in Atlanta.
I forgot to add him on there. Kevin Stefanski in Atlanta. You're right about that.
I know Black Atlanta don't like this hire, but Atlanta always want a black man to be the head coach. And there's no black person.
In fact, Cam Newton called the NFC South the HBCU of NFL divisions.
And when he said it, I was like, damn, he's right.
He's right.
I know, like Isaac Hayes III was on his platform saying that Matt Ryan made a bad choice and he has to understand who's in Atlanta and all of that. My only thing is, the offense was the problem. And who else outside of Kevin Stefanski was they going to get at the time? Because Mike McDaniel wasn't gone just yet before they start going through all of the interviews. Kevin Stefanski is a 2-time coach of the year. And I think they're keeping their defensive coordinator with Jeff Ulbrich. Matter of fact, that defensive staff for the most part is staying. So all they needed really help was on the offensive side of the ball, which Raheem Morris wasn't able to do. I don't know who's going to be the quarterback because Michael Penix Jr. tore his ACL. He's probably not going to be ready. But who was the quarterback that everybody was thinking was going to be paired with Kevin Stefanski last year?
Kirk Cousins. It was Kirk Cousins. That's what it was. Yeah.
And who's the quarterback of the Atlanta Falcons right now?
Mr. Kirk Cousins.
They can still get somebody for free agency, but oddly enough, the pairing of Kirk Cousins and Kevin Stefanski in the NFC South, I have trusted. That is a division that does not have a dominant team. That is a division that everybody is close. I think that Kevin Stefanski in the NFC South works. On the flip side of it, when I look at all of the people that have been hired, this is no hate because of the Green Bay Packers part, but the Miami Dolphins getting Jeff Hafley as their coach, I don't think that's going to work out for him or the general manager. I think there's too much work to be done there. I think with Tua's contract, it's going to be hard to move him, period. And there's one thing that, so it was a couple of days ago, keep this quick, a couple of days ago, it was the anniversary of the divisions that we saw before the changes was made with the NFC South and North, when it was the NFC Central. And I had looked at what they had up there, and I was wondering, at the time, St. Louis had a team. They put the St. Louis Cardinals, who became the Arizona Cardinals, in the NFC East, and they had the Detroit Lions in the Central, and I was like, maybe the St. Louis Cardinals should have been in the Central and the Detroit Lions is in the East. Why did I bring that up? Because I'm also thinking about weather. And when you look at the weather, the Miami Dolphins is in a division where they are the only warm weather team in that mark. So you also not only have to deal with the fact that you're the only warm weather team, and that's hard, very difficult for you to overcome because we've seen it. You're going against Joshua Allen. You're going up against Drake May. And surprisingly enough, I think in the next couple of years, the Jets going to be all right. And you got Tua because they got draft picks.
Yeah.
And who you got? You got Tua. And you might got to keep him. And your defense is depleted. And the best person on your skill position is Jalen Waddle. The Miami Dolphins is going to be terrible in 3 years. Book it. I don't like that. I don't like that hire.
So are you saying he'll be the first coach fired out of all these people?
Yes, he will be the first coach hired out of there because I also have high hopes for Jesse Minter. And he's also in the division with a lot of upheaval. And I'm not mad at the Robert Salah pick for the Tennessee Titans. They are going to be okay in the division that is not necessarily strong. Jeff Hadley is in the strongest division. I think he's going to be gone in 3 years.
I've got Robert Salah as my first one, but I'm not mad at that pick. But yeah, so that's what we got for the coaching hires, man. I'm so glad we're not spending a lot of time on that because we have our coach. Let's move on to Championship Sunday, which in my opinion is the last Sunday of the week for the NFL season. Let me explain what I mean by that. If you're an actual football fan, this is the last week of the season because the Super Bowl isn't for us. It's not. The Super Bowl is not for diehard football fans. The Super Bowl is for casuals and it's just for casuals. That's who it is. It's for casuals and the fans of the two teams who are actually playing in the game. That is who it's for. So this is the last amount of real football you're gonna get. So the four teams left in the AFC Championship game Sunday, 2 p.m. Eastern. The Denver Broncos will be hosting the New England Patriots. Now, of course, remember, it will not be Bo Nix. It will be Jarrett Stidham. He will be the backup because the injury that Bo Nix suffered last Saturday after beating the Buffalo Bills and New England Patriots. I just got to say, Patriots fans haven't suffered long enough. I think that's what makes me mad about them being back here in the spot. They were supposed to suffer at least for a decade and a half before they got blessed with another quarterback. They have not suffered enough for my liking. So just because of that, I will be rooting against them for the remainder of this postseason. Just because their fans have not suffered enough. They have not. Granted, I only know one Patriot fan. But that's still that needs to be a way we do things with fandom, and they should be on the suffer block list. When the Bulls won 6 championships, we've been suffering for almost 30 years. Okay, I think it's time for our suffering to end. Actually, you know what I'm saying? Like, we got a double dish of it. They're like, hey, we'll give you an MVP, and then we're gonna take his knee. That's what we're gonna do. So I'm going to root against the Patriots, but you got that, and then the NFC, you got a NFC West rematch of a great game from a couple weeks ago. You got the Seattle Seahawks trying to advance to the 3rd Super Bowl in the last 15 years, going up against the Los Angeles Rams, man. So let's start with the AFC Championship game first. The Patriots are currently a 5-point favorite in this game. This is really unfortunate for Denver because they lost Bo Nix, and I really thought this would have been a real good game, just narrative-wise, too. You have 2 of the top draft picks from the, not top in order, obviously, because Caleb's not in it, Jaden's not in it, but 2 of the top 10. Bo Nix went top 10, right, if I'm not mistaken. Bo was like 9, right? I think he was like 9.
No, he was 11th.
He was 11th. Okay, all right. So
Michael Penix was the 9th pick.
Michael Penix was the 9th pick. So this is the NBA lottery picks. They're both lottery picks. That would be the storyline here. But you got Jarrett Stidham, who hasn't thrown a football in 2 years. Okay, the Broncos are the only team this year with their backup quarterback is not throwing a pass. So that is just unfortunate. I think it'll be a close game because they're at home. Their defense is really good. Sean Payton is a really great play caller. And I think they'll find a way to make it competitive. But I don't see them beating the New England Patriots. The New England Patriots, the defense is good enough. Drake May is good enough. And I just think that it's going to be a close game, and that's going to come down to who has the better quarterback. And I know that everybody's always a backup. You know, we've seen Nick Foles do it. That's what made the 2017 Eagles so incredible, because you've never seen that happen before. It's an all-time run. It's never going to happen again. And that's just really what I think. I'm going to go with the New England Patriots to win this one. 31-21 is my final score. I think this will be a really close game into the end, and I think there will be like a last-minute field goal that will seal it. I don't think Jarrett Stidham's going to play bad. I just don't think it's going to be good enough. What's your thoughts on the AFC title?
I think it's going to be close. I don't think it's going to be a lot of points, though. I got this 2017, the Denver Broncos, though. I think Jarrett Stidham is going to do just enough. And that defense of the Denver Broncos is going to be the reason why they win. What I'm worried about is Drake May. Is not necessarily the moment, but I do worry about his hands. And with a defense that is just as like a defense that is great and very opportunistic, that's what I worry about when it comes to Drake May. So I do have the Denver Broncos defeating the New England Patriots 20-17, and Jarrett Stidham getting his Jeff Hostetler on, being a backup, taking his team to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I hope you're wrong. Because as much as I'm rooting against the Patriots, I really don't want to deal with the backup angle for 2 weeks. And
I don't want to deal with Drake May. I feel you. I don't want to deal with Drake May going to the Super Bowl before Caleb Williams.
I don't want to deal with that either. So like, it's really like a lose-lose for me. And then I'm gonna be out there for the media portion of the week, and I don't want to be out here trying to fake questions about, hey, can you guys compare yourself to the 2017 Eagles? So I don't know, but yeah, this really AFC Championship game is a lose-lose situation for me. But at this point, now that my team is out, it just entertain me. That's pretty much where I'm at. We're not gonna have football for another 8 months after the next couple weeks. So I'm trying to enjoy every snap. Now time for the nightcap, the NFC Championship game, which is always better than the AFC Championship game. Just want to point the NFC Championship game is like always better than the AFC Championship game. You got the Seattle Seahawks will be hosting the Los Angeles Rams, and the Seahawks made easy work of their division foe, the San Francisco 49ers last week, and of course the Rams beat the Bears in overtime in Chicago last weekend. The Seahawks are a 2.5-point favorite in this one. The last time they played was in Seattle. It was a Thursday night football game. I think it was the last week of the season or second to last week of the season. That 2-point conversion that helped send it to overtime. Then Sam Darnold throwing the game-winning touchdown pass in overtime, which gave them pretty much the division at that point and pretty much sealed the Rams' fate of not getting that number one seed. So I think this is going to be a very, very competitive game. These two teams, the Seahawks lead the season series by one game. I mean, not season series, but series record by one game. They're equal on points, equal on everything. This is as equal as you can get for a game. And I think you're going to see a much better Rams offense than you saw last week in Chicago, even though this defense in Seattle is way better than the Bears defense. I just feel like this division game is not going to be like, it'll be cold because of Seattle, but it's not going to be nothing what they experienced last week. And I think that they're going to take the momentum and really ride it. Wouldn't surprise me if Seattle won this game, which I am actually going to pick Seattle. It wouldn't surprise me if they rocked them is what I meant. It wouldn't surprise me if they washed them. But I think this is going to go down to the wire once again. I think you're going to get a better Matthew Stafford performance. We still know that Sam Darnold isn't where he needs to be health-wise, but if he wins this game, he has 2 weeks to get it together, and they're going to have enough of that defense. That defense looks nasty. Special teams is nasty. The offensive line is nasty. Running game. And he has been able to manage the game properly, and I think that'll be enough. So give me the Seattle Seahawks winning this game. I'm going to say 31-28 will be my final score for Sunday.
I have the score 34-31 with the LA Rams winning the NFC Championship. As much as I want to go with the Seattle Seahawks, I don't know, like their running back situation with Zach Charbonnet, how have you pronounced his name? Like he's out for the year.
Oh yeah, he's out for the year. Yeah,
He's done. So Kenneth Walker, can he stand up for the whole entire game? Can Sam Darnold overcome any mistakes that happen? But you do have one of the best defense, if it's not the best defense in the league, that they're going to be going against, and you're going to be at home. But God damn it, I can't see the script not having Matt Stafford in the Super Bowl, because that's the
Stafford and Stidham.
Here's what I will say, and somebody put me on. When you look at all of the 4 teams, who has the best script?
The best script? I don't know. I don't think it's the Rams though.
You got the AFC. Jared Stidham, can the backup take a team to the Super Bowl?
Yeah, you mean like coming in?
Yeah, and you have no recognizable players. You got Drake May. Can he go take a team in his second year and take them to the Super Bowl? Can he replace Tom Brady? You got the Seattle Seahawks, who got a second-year coach. Can he take them to the Super Bowl? And then you got Matt Stafford, who, if he wins another Super Bowl and he's possibly the MVP of the league, where does he fit when you have conversations about the best quarterbacks ever? When you talk about the best quarterbacks in his generation, when you talk about his Hall of Fame credentials, and if he wins this, does he retire?
That's a good point. And he could be MVP this year. So I think that him and versus Drake May will be a good storyline too. But like you said, as a Caleb Williams fan, I don't really want to see that either.
I don't want to see that shit.
I don't want to see that at all. But that's why I got Seattle and the Patriots, a rematch of the 2014 Super Bowl going again. So we'll see how that goes. Final topic, man, is now the Bears season is over. The big story in Chicago this week the Mr. Pudini, Derrick Rose himself, his iconic number one jersey will be heading into the rafters on Saturday, tomorrow night at the United Center. The game, it won't be a halftime thing. It will be a after the game type thing, which lets me know this ceremony is going to be pretty good long. It's just Seattle has to rely on checks notes. Velas Jones and running back. Yeah, Velas is a clown for that, man. Like, bro, get your bum ass out of here, bro. Like, and I don't even try. I try not to call athletes bums, but as somebody who watched him for 3 years, he's a bum. Okay, like, don't get mad at the Bears who gave you every opportunity, more opportunity than they should have gave you to be good, and you couldn't cut the mustard, man. Like, Joe clown ass out there. But anyway, Derrick Rose jersey will be going to the Raptors. The ceremony will be after the game, not at halftime, which means it's longer than a halftime permits. Man, I think this has been kind of weird for me for a multitude of reasons. The main reason it's been weird for me because me and Derek are the same age. Me and Derek are the same graduating class. Me and Derek have mutual friends. I have met Derek on multiple occasions. If you know me, I have told the story before. Okay, so I remember the first time meeting him, and he was so great as Simeon. But I never thought in my wildest dreams, not that he wouldn't make the NBA. Like I think pretty much if anybody knew Derek in high school or knew people who knew Derek in high school, you knew that he was gonna make the league. I didn't think he was gonna be what he became. MVP, great as he is, and I feel like this might sound blasphemous. I feel like his impact is similar to Allen Iverson, and what I mean by that is, it's 100% for the city, but just outside of the city, he has such a massive fan base, bro. Like even outside of Chicago, they love him. In China and Japan, the only player they love more than Derrick Rose in China and Japan is Kobe Bryant. You know what I'm saying? They love Derrick out there. So many different players have come up and said they grew up on Derrick Rose, which makes me feel super old. Super old. I've seen people who had pictures from like the 08-09 season, and they're like 10 years old. I was drinking alcohol that year that he won rookie, when we won MVP. And so it makes me feel old, but to see somebody who, I remember being at Curie High School and he would come up there, Simeon would come up there and they would just bust Curie all the time, become an NBA legend. And to see his jersey go up. And if you went to Simeon, and shout out to my man Lotto, he went to Simeon. And he was the realization of what the Benji dream was. Now Benji died 4 years before I was born, but if you all knew about him, like my pop's church is in the area, not that far away from Simeon. So they used to take us up there to hoop at Simeon, and there was a big old picture of Benji in the court where they hoop. And so we all knew about the Benji story. So he's kind of like the realized dream. And, I saw the video that the Bulls posted of him actually seeing the actual banner. And I ain't gonna lie, I got my allergy started flaring up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just great to see a dude like that, see his dreams get realized, and to play for the hometown team and see his jersey go up to Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen, who are not only Chicago Bulls legends, but NBA legends. I think this is going to be a great moment. My favorite Derrick Rose moment, I know everybody says the Dragic moment. I know everybody says, his first playoff game. Mine will have to be the game-winning bank three over Cleveland. I remember where I was at. I had just moved to Los Angeles. I had been there maybe 8-9 months at the time. And I was working at FedEx on UCLA's campus. So I went to this bar. I forgot what the name of it. I think it was called The Bruin. It was like a UCLA bar on UCLA's campus. And I'm watching it. And when he hit the shot, I'm the only Chicago sportsman now. I'm absolutely losing. I'm yelling it. And I'm just high-fiving people on the street, whatever. And I remember how big I thought that we was going to win this series. And we should have won if the referee would have called a a technical foul on David Black when he called the timeout. He had no more left, but I don't want to rant on that anymore. But anyway, that was a great moment, and obviously his career didn't get to the heights it got because of multiple knee injuries. But Derek is a Chicago legend. He's a Bulls legend. He's an NBA legend. I don't know if he's gonna make the Hall of Fame. I hope he does. But even if he does, have his jersey up there. That's a win for the South Side. That's a win for Inglewood. So shout out to D.Rose. Any thoughts on D.Rose, and then we're gonna wrap this up.
Man, I don't have Chicago Sports Network. I did the 7-day trial for this.
I'm about to. I don't either, but I will be getting the 7-day trial.
I got the 7-day trial for this. I think your Allen Iverson joint is spot on. Because they are the hood favorite. They are the everyman favorite. My favorite moment is why not me? Like not even him in the game. It's him
calling the shot.
Like calling the shot. How come I can't be MVP? Like I actually think about that moment from time to time because I just be like, yo, nobody was expecting that joint. So it's like, yo, why can't I do it? And everybody was looking at him crazy. And what ended up happening? Like he's the hood favorite. His shoes, even when you look at the shoes, one of the other reasons why I agree with your Allen Iverson comparison is because when Mike was gone, Allen Iverson's shoes were up. I'll be honest, I'll just say from what I've seen, there's more people that cared about having D.Roses than they did about LeBron's when it comes to shoes. Like
in the words of Lamar Park legend Dominic Kennedy, don't wear LeBron to the club. Them shit's ugly.
Yeah, so just looking at and I might be wrong, I'm just saying from what I saw. So from the landscape of things, and then also he's from Chicago. Like how many people get their jersey retired on the team that they grew up watching? I don't know too many people from the city that they're from too. I don't know. That might be a good question to ask. Like how many athletes jerseys are retired by the team in the market that they are from? I don't know. Derrick Rose is going to be the first one.
I can't think of none.
Yeah, Derrick Rose is going to be the first one for me. And I ain't even going to front. Especially after looking at that video that the Chicago Bears dropped today, I might get a little emotional. Because with Derrick Rose jersey being retired, it makes me feel like the city's jersey's retired. And you know who said that? He did. In the video. When that jersey goes up, it goes up for everybody.
Did you peep that some of Benji's family members were on there in that video too? Yeah.
Yes. The last thing that I would say is there's a post that went around that said that, question like who means more to Chicago? Michael Jordan, Derrick Rose. Don't get me wrong, fam. I had some great times with them 6 rings.
Mm-hmm.
But seeing somebody like Derrick Rose be successful with the Chicago Bulls,
it's different, bro.
It's different.
It's like your cousin blowing up, bro. Like Michael Jordan is the reason. Michael Jordan is the reason I love sports. And the first ever sport event ever watched was Game 6 of the '96 Finals. But I remember when Derrick Rose was hooping in Simeon, and to see him today, it just hits different, bro.
Yeah, it hits different. And tomorrow is gonna hit different because here's how I will put it. Not to sound blasphemous, but when Michael Jordan retired and got his jersey retired, not once but twice, it was like seeing God ascend. But with Derrick Rose, it feels different because it feels like you ascended. We know Mike is the greatest player of all time. But when you grew up watching somebody, it's a little bit different.
Yeah.
Because the expectations that you have, and for a city like Chicago, which loves its own, it gets no better than that. So I'm very excited to watch that probably will not be a dry eye in the joint. We don't
Not
even
at
know
all.
who else is showing up.
Exactly. We only know, like, obviously Joe Kim. Like, Joe Kim's been in the videos. Taj. I love to see Kirk Heinrich in the videos, man. Like, it was dope to see Kirk. And I didn't know that him and Kirk were so close. Like, in the video when they came onto the court, like, he kind of knew like Taj and Joe are gonna be there, like, them my boys. But when he saw Kirk, he's like, oh, Cap, man, good to see you. Like, he didn't know. So I'm really excited to see what players are gonna be there, like what former Bulls, maybe even some NBA guys who are not Bulls players. You know what I'm saying? Will you see a D Wade there? Will you see, like, other people from there? Like, there have been a lot of Bears players coming to games. Like, I'm pretty sure Caleb probably in LA right now. But if he did not in LA, will he show up to the game?
Matter of fact, have you ever seen the movie City of God?
No, I have not seen the entire movie.
Okay,
I've seen
first of all, City of God is my favorite
that's your
movie.
joint. Yeah.
That's my favorite movie of all time. Derrick Rose reminds me of Benny, except Benny didn't get shot. For those who've never seen City of God, Benny was the coolest hood in City of God. Everybody loved Benny, and everything was destroyed when Benny died. That's Derrick Rose without the shit that happened and that ended Benny. Everybody loves Pooh. Everybody. And there's not one person in the NBA has said anything bad about Derrick Rose, to the point where on the score, that man was talking to Mully and Hall, and he talked about, yo, this is why I didn't recruit, because I felt like it would be disloyal to the people that I had on the team. Not that I ain't want nobody to come, but if
I'm still tight about that. But
wait a minute, because I was tight about it too.
I'm still tight about that.
Wait a minute, I'm still tight about it too. But when he said, man, if I'm every year talking about I need this player or that player, then, like, what am I doing? And when he said that, I was like, hey, man, he got a point. Because the Chicago in us is always going to be like, I'm going to ride with who I got. And if you want to come, I'm not going to deny it. But I'm not going to sweat you. I'm not going to sit up here and try to basically tug on your nuts just for you to come. If you want to come and hoop, just hoop. But I'm not going to embarrass Taj, Kirk, Joakim, Luol, or anybody else just to get you to come. And that's different. Because when we look at what we see in that Lakers article on ESPN.
Oh, we will get into that next week.
And all of that stuff. Yeah. Derrick Rose is the anti-dat. And because he is the anti-dat, the people who are not anti-dat loves him because they wish they could be him, even with the rings. Because there's some people in the NBA that got all of those rings that wish that they was as loved as Derrick Rose, and they'd give up a ring or two just to get the love that man gonna get tomorrow.
Yeah, and I think the Bulls gonna roll the red carpet. You know, the Bulls might not do wins, but they do nostalgia.
Hey man, what if Mike show up?
I'm gonna be real, dog. Mike show up. I'm gonna have a tear like Denzel and Glory come down my face. Like if you get Mike to show up, bro, I'll put like this: you get Michael Jordan to show up. If Caleb's still in town and Caleb pull up, that's gonna be a Chicago like sports over stimulation moment right there. Like,
hey, Magic showed up for Larry, and Larry showed up for Magic.
He did. I do believe it wouldn't probably whatsoever with Allen Iverson's though. AI loves some D.Rose. AI loves some D.Rose, bro. So I'm really excited to see what it's like. 9:30 tomorrow after the game. I don't even know who the Bulls are playing tomorrow. It don't really
Boston.
matter. They're playing Boston. Okay, so they might lose tomorrow. I don't know. Don't ask me. In fact, next week's show is gonna be called Pappy Teach Us About the NBA. Because I have no idea what's going on. So Pav's gonna come on. Pav's gonna come on and give us the top stories next week. Let's see what we're gonna talk about, man. But that's what we're gonna look forward to, man. But that is all we got for y'all on I'm Not Gonna Hold You. We'll be back next Friday. I'll be back Monday with the weekend recap, which of course is exclusively on the Barber's Chair Patreon. The link is in the description box. The QR code is right here on the screen. Subscribe to the $5 I'm Not Gonna Hold You tier or the $10 Barbershop Access tier, and you will get the weekend recap each and every Monday. I usually have that up by like 1 p.m. Central Time, so check that out. Bang, anything you want to promote before we get up out of here?
Yeah, man, some dude is on a little bit of a hiatus right now because Mike is being a great dad to a daughter who's a great bowler.
Being
So
great father. Shout out to good dads.
so he's taking care of his daughter while she goes out there and bowl for her high school team. First black champ should be back this weekend. But also, I am as we go through this hiatus, I am getting back to doing some of my joints called the thoughts. If you've been around me long enough, you used to see me say the thoughts and do some thought videos on Instagram and on YouTube and everything. So I'm bringing that back, and then also working on some new content that we will be discussing in the very near future.
Yeah, I've got a project I'm working on with the homie Tosin. Stay very, very tuned on what's going on. So, yeah, all of our footy fans out there, if you want content, we got something coming for y'all. So look out for that. Of course, obviously, I'll be posting on my YouTube each and every week. I got some fun Bull Bears off-season type videos we're gonna do. So subscribe to that. That link is in the description box. Everything is at Barb Chair Scott. All my socials, my YouTube, all that. If you're lazy, this QR code is right there as well, man. So that is all we've got for y'all. Y'all enjoy this weekend. If you're in Chicago, if you're in the Midwest, whatever, it's cold, there's snowstorms happening in different parts of the world. Be safe. I will holler at y'all on Monday for the weekend recap on Patreon. And me, Bang, Dante, Pav, will be back next week. And we're going to talk a little bit of NBA next week on the show. So we up out of here, man.